All right, hi guys. Welcome to the stream. I'm just gonna start out with doodling today. But today we're gonna work on April again and maybe potentially possibly finish her. Maybe not. I'm only doing 2 hours today, so we'll see. I may or may not have the time. And I also just have a lot going on this weekend, so. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm excited for these streams, partially just because of like the community, but also they give me an excuse to actually get some drawing done that I've been wanting to work on for a while, such as April. And so the fact that I can always come back to her and work on her during these streams is really, really nice. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Hello, hello. Welcome in. How's everybody doing? How is everybody's day going so far? Let's see. Just trying to do a little warm-up doodle with Leo. It's not my best work. Then again, it's not supposed to be. Cutting myself some slack with this one. I think his neck needs to be wider. That's better. Oh, you both are so sweet. That's good to hear you guys are doing good. Yeah, tired. Yeah, I'm a little tired too. But God is sustaining me. That's all I can say. I'm doing pretty good, all things considered, but just a little tired. But yeah, I've been excited for this stream to get to do this today. It's always fun. And it's getting easier to get these set up every single time I do them. Just like, it feels more and more casual, which is exactly what I want it to be. I don't want to go into every single stream feeling like it's gotta be like a huge deal. And I'm getting faster also at starting things up, like the music and getting the stream itself scheduled and getting things posted. I'm still bad at that. I'm still bad at making sure that the stream is posted, or the update or the link to the stream is posted everywhere it needs to be posted, because now I have 3 places that I need to be posting that, and I keep forgetting to do the announcements on Instagram and YouTube. I'm pretty consistent about getting the notification posted on Tumblr, but I need to practice that, man. I need to get better at remembering to post the notification on Instagram and YouTube. But we're getting there. Again, this isn't supposed to be like a huge deal or anything. It's supposed to be pretty casual. I also just want to be, you know, consistent for everybody else's sake. What? I think I want to do his arms crossed. The easiest way to do that is to get the basic shapes down. Yeah, that looks good. You just it just takes a little bit to make a character look a little bit more expressive in terms of body language, because it's so easy, especially for me, to just default to something really, really stiff. So I really enjoy, I'd really try to add more dynamic poses and expressions where I can to practice that, because I do enjoy how those turn out. They're just kind of, they're not like my default. Hi, welcome in. It's good to have you here. I'm just warming up with a Leo doodle. I probably won't be doing as many doodles as I did last time for warm-ups, because I won't be on as long today. I'm only going until 3 o'clock, but I just wanted to do a little warm-up. Actually, you know what? I always give him his, like his, movie gear, but I think I need to try practice drawing him with his show gear more often. You know, these weird glove things that he has. Oh, I'm missing his arm stripes. That's a kind of a big deal. There we go. Oops. Did not mean to do that. Ah. Yep, mirroring always does it for me. Always makes me realize, like, oh, yep, that's pretty lopsided. He's tilted to one side a little bit. Okay, deselect. And we'll just mess around with the sketch a little bit. There we go. That looks way better. All right. Actually, we'll just dedicate this canvas to him. To this little sketch. Change canvas size. I never like leaving a bunch of empty space, and the nice thing about using digital canvases is you can just reshape them to whatever you need them to be. So I'm just gonna make this is all Leo's, his real estate. So let's see, save this. I don't know, Leo sketch. Surprised I don't have any files that are already named Leo sketch. Save. All right, that's a good warm up. Let's move on to April. Oh man, we did a lot more than I remembered, actually. Oh, and I turned her glasses back on. I don't think I had done that before the end of last stream. All right, back to rendering. Oh, and I also need to work a little bit on her lines, because there are some places, especially when you're doing lines. I learned a trick once where when you're doing line art, it's good to make the lower lines or the bottom lines heavier or thicker or darker. it just adds a little bit more weight and interest to the overall piece. So I'm going to go with a black pencil and make the lower lines on various parts, at least parts that need to stick out a little bit more, just a little darker and a little thicker, just so that they don't quite blend in so much. I'm still debating about her colors just a little bit, but I think we're a lot closer to where we need to be as far as that goes. Let's see, I could give her ear a little depth. Make that stand out more. Stand out above the crowd, even if I gotta shout out loud. I also want to do, I mean, I've got a lot of red going on for the outline. She's so beautiful. Thank you so much. That's sweet. I've got a lot of red outline going on. I think that I need to change the color here and there, just so that it looks more 3D, if that makes any sense. Because I can do that pretty well with rendering, but there is something to be said about how much your lines really affect. Like if you're not doing completely lineless, your lines can add a lot by just changing their color a little bit or adding to their thickness in certain areas. Especially right here. Her hand is just blending in so much with her waist. I need to make her hand stand out a little bit more. Also, I am realizing that it is just a little bit toasty in my house. I need to go check and make sure that the thermostat is set. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I just set it a little bit lower. It's just getting a little warm in here, and I was getting a little toasty-oasty. And I did not want to be feeling that for the whole stream. It probably would have kicked in fairly soon, but I didn't know when that was going to be. Add a little bit more definition. Oh, just had to sneeze there for a second. Add a little bit more definition to her eyes. And her eyebrows. Gotta have those immaculate eyebrows. I think we can make the zipper stand out a little bit more too. I thought something looked weird for a second, but maybe it's just me. I think maybe her eye needs to be pushed up just a little bit. Start with the color. Then we'll do the lines. Yeah, that's a little better. Let's see what it looks like before. Yeah, not much of a difference, but that's fine. I had already started adding shinies, I think. Did I start doing that? Yes, I already did. I really wanted to add shinies probably further in advance than I really need to, but what can I say? I really like them. Let's see. Is that layer? That's the glasses. There they are. There's the shinies. And what is this layer? Oh, it's him. It's Gerald. That's what that layer is. Saying hi for saying his hello for the stream. Hi, welcome in. Gerald, yeah. Hey, do you watch any anime? I do watch some anime sometimes. It's not like I'll have to specify, like, I like animes, but I like certain animes. Like, it's got to be something that I really, really enjoy. I really liked Haikyuu. That was a good one. I actually never finished that one, now that I think about it. I need to go back and rewatch that, because I think more came out since the last time I watched it, which can probably tell you how long ago that was. And then I really like Spy Family. Actually, I like that one along with my my brother and my mother and my sisters. We all really got into that one. We enjoyed that one a lot. Let me think. What are some others that I really got into? Yeah, I like some anime. It really depends. Studio Ghibli, like, I never think of Studio Ghibli in the category of anime because it's just like, it's so its own thing that I almost never think of it as anime, but I guess if you count Studio Ghibli, I love Studio Ghibli. The Haikyuu movie was very good. Oh man, yeah, see, and I never saw that. I really, really need to watch that. I don't know, there's something very wholesome about Haikyuu. I really enjoyed it. I liked One Piece for a long time, but I liked the manga more. I never really got into the anime. There were a few mangas that I enjoyed better than the animes. Let's see. Robotech and Star Blazers. I've never heard of those. I'll have to look those up. So I take it you guys like anime. I'm open to any recommendations. I don't know when I would ever get to them because I only do like streaming services every so often for like Crunchyroll. I have to have enough shows to excuse me getting as an excuse to get a streaming service for a while. And that goes for any streaming service. But yeah, I might check some out if you guys think they're worth checking out. Are those the same color? Hold on. This sleeve and this cuff. No, they are not This is like a lemon yellow, and this is like a banana yellow. Go through all the list of yellows in here. Her jacket is like a mustard yellow. Her jumpsuit is like a honey yellow. And these stripe thingies, whatever you want to call them, the bands are, honestly, they're kind of orange. A Silent Voice, it's a movie and it's very good. Oh, I've heard of that one. I think I watched that one actually a long time ago. Isn't that the one with the deaf character? I'm pretty sure I watched that one a long, long time ago. I seem to remember enjoying it. There are a lot that have been recommended to me, and they sound really, really good, and I would love to check them out, but at the same time, like, I don't know, for me, it's not like any anime is good anime. It's gotta, like, really appeal to me. So, like, obviously, that means I have to give them a chance first, but the ones that I really got into are the ones that, like, I really, really liked those ones. If it didn't appeal to me that much, I never made myself sit through something that just like wasn't capturing 100% of my attention. And that goes for anything that I've ever watched. Like, I don't see a point personally in watching something that I'm not like fully enjoying. Even if it gets good reviews and stuff. Like, I've watched stuff that has gotten stellar reviews and I'm just like, this just isn't for me. And that doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just not for me. So when I say I like anime, you have to take that with a grain of salt because I like certain animes. Oh no. Oh, no. Oh shoot, okay. Hold on, let's see how far we got. Okay, it looks like all we did really was the pants. I was drawing the line art on the wrong layer. Okay, but we didn't get very far, so it's fine. We'll just Control Z all that. Try again. Oh, that is the worst feeling. Okay. It's fine. We're good. We're fine now. We're fine. We're fine. We'll live. This is very, yes. I like that. I might start using that. Yeah, it does suck when that happens. I don't notice it sometimes because like I was just on the color. What was I on the color layer for? Why was I on the color layer? I'm gonna get distracted. Watch me get distracted again. I think I was on the color layer. I already did it again. I was on the color layer because I think I was going to transfer this color on her sleeves down here to see if it looked any better. So I want there to be a little bit of consistency across the board. No, that looks actually terrible. Now let's try this. Let's try this yellow on these sleeves. That actually might look pretty good. Actually, yeah, I like that. That looks pretty good. And adds a little bit more consistency to her whole design. Sorry, I keep hitting things on my desk. Little water break. Everybody drink your water if you haven't in a while. Let's see, we can add a little bit more depth here with the shading. And here too, actually, instead of doing lasso, I think we're just gonna do a brush. I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think that Rise took a lot of inspiration from animes, or at least a lot of the anime tropes. And I see that a lot in Rise, so I mean, it's definitely there, but I always thought that was kind of neat. I do like all the little... I mean, there are a lot of things that anime does really well, and I think work really well in Western cartoons. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that Rise is very much inspired by a lot of anime. Hi, welcome in. I need to do something about her shoelaces. Let's just outline them. That is the wrong pen. Yeah. Oops. I am just not doing this right today. Sorry, I'm trying to figure that out. What is the most handsome food to you? I don't know if that's some sort of translation error on your going on there, but if you mean like what's my favorite food, it's a good question. I have a lot of favorite foods. I really like eggs. Those are pretty good. You can prepare them so many different ways. I've been really enjoying omelets lately. Okay. Yeah, that looks fine from a distance. Let's move this a little bit. Ham and cheese omelets are amazing. They are. They really are. Man, I haven't had an omelet with ham in it in a while. I should really try that again. I usually just make mine with cheese because I'm lazy. But yeah, that sounds really good. My dad used to make really good omelets. And he usually had ham in them. Man, that sounds so good now. Yeah, I'm using the right pen. Thought it was looking a little thick there for a second, but it's definitely the right one. I think I'm just so zoomed in that you can kind of see a lot of the pen's detail. But I am working on shoelaces right now, which are, they kind of require finer detail. Ham and cheese omelets are great. Yes, they are. On the last page for TTLT comic, finally. Oh, cool. If anybody, what is everybody working on, if you want to say, if anybody's working on anything, but I always like to know what people are working on while I'm streaming. It's like having a like a drawing get together or a crafting get together or whatever you want to call it. I usually add spinach to be extra quote-unquote healthy. Oh, yeah, see, sometimes veggies really make them taste really good too. My dad used to also add like sauteed green peppers. Those also made omelets super tasty. You're working on your first Rise comic? Oh, that's cool. I think you mostly do writing, don't you? I mean, I've seen a little bit of your art, but I think I did it again. Did I do it again? Oh no. No, okay, I just did it for that one line. Why do I keep changing over? Hold on. Okay, I did it for the last part of her shoelaces. I keep doing that. Y'all might need to start reminding me to be on the correct layer when I'm drawing these things. No, that's not your responsibility. Anyway, that's really cool. Is it just going to be... Is it going to be more... is it going to be like an entirely new concept, or is it going to be something that you've already written before? Haven't started drawing yet, but I'm about to grab my sketchbook and do some doodles. That sounds awesome. Yeah, sketchbooks are so nice. I want to start getting into more traditional sketching and drawing. I don't do that as often as I would like to. And I'm not saying like it's a requirement or anything, but there's something very nice about traditional drawing. Hi, Duck! It's good to have you in here. You're working on April too? Aw, I'm so excited to see how your April turns out. It's a new thing, a separated Leo AU. Awesome. Love to see it. Love separation AUs. Love that it's Leo. Because of course it has to be. Well, it doesn't have to be, but just like poor Leo, he gets the rough end of the deal so often. But he's just so perfect for that role. Am I on the correct layer? I'm on the correct layer. Good. Sort of fell out of the habit drawing traditionally, but I'm trying to pick it back up again. It's fun. I've missed it. Yeah, it is really fun. It is kind of something you have to build up a habit for, or just like have things. I think what's the there's like rules to making a habit based off of, if you've ever read the Atomic Habits book. One of the rules is something like make it accessible. So, like, as long as you're making whatever it is accessible, it'll be easier to form a habit out of it. So, like, just having the materials on hand or seeing opportunity where it arises. Like, I used to doodle a lot on, like, pieces of scrap paper. And I still do this sometimes, but just, like, anytime I had downtime at, like, work or something, depending on what the job was, if it didn't require a whole lot of attention and I had gotten all my chores done, then I would just start doodling with office supplies like printer paper and ballpoint pens and highlighters. Zoom out. I gotta see the April progress, please. Oh, yeah, of course. There she is. This is what we've got so far. So, we've started a little bit of rendering. I'm working on her line art right now. Just kind of adding a little bit more weight and depth and darker colors to, like, the lower parts of her line art. Just to add a little bit more weight and a little more visual interest, you know, to draw the eye, to keep things, like, keep certain elements separated from other elements. So, like, her jacket needs to stand out a little bit more from her jumpsuit, so I outlined that a little bit heavier. Stuff like that. And yeah, then I'm gonna go back into shading a little bit more because I think right now, hold on. Right now, I really don't have all that much shaded. Well, I mean, I have a lot shaded, but not everything. And I do really need to check. Let's see. Is there any part that just looks a little bit... I think there needs to be a little bit more shading down here on the lower parts, like, especially like around her calves, especially around here. Man, there's not enough shading here at all. Right here on her ankle. She could probably stand to lose some shading right about here. But yeah, and then I'm gonna be working on lighting too after that. See how long that takes. She's also just a little bit tilted. I might need to tilt her back a little bit. Anyway. Thank you. I'm glad you guys like it. The colors are popping. Yes, they are. All thanks to everybody who's helped me so far with how I should be coloring her. Because I've gotten a lot of advice from you guys. I really like the anatomy style. Yeah, see, first of all, thank you. Second of all, I really like Rise's style and how they do the shapes, the shape language, and I'm trying to emulate that. I'm trying to get as close to that as possible while still, like, adding the amount of detail that I want to add. Yeah, I was just about to say it looked like TMNT. Yeah, it is TMNT. We're doing April O'Neil, specifically the Rise version. I have other inspirations from other series down here. We definitely wanted to go for the jumpsuit for the original 1987 cartoon, April. Got a bit of a jacket going on. That's more from, like, her concept art for her future design. I really liked the boots. on this 2003 April and this 2012 April. So she doesn't exactly have boots. They're more like Converse, but you know, high tops. And I don't put enough effort into shading. Oh, you don't have to put in like a ton of effort into shade. You can put in as much or as little effort into shading as you want. It is totally up to you. What really matters is what you enjoy doing. And I mean, it's always good to push yourself and get better at something that you want to get better at. But at the same time, like, there's not really such a thing as enough. That's pretty nebulous. That's a pretty abstract concept that you get to make the call as the artist what is enough to you or not. So, oops, I am on the wrong layer. That was close. Control Y. Let's see. So sweet to see how she's come along since the beginning. Yeah, I know. It's really cool. I really love seeing the progress. You know what I haven't done in a while is I haven't done design notes. I did design notes for Leo, Mikey, Donnie, and I never did them for Raph, although I have them written down somewhere and I really need to post those. But I should do that again. I just really like writing those down. I don't really care how many people read those because I really just write those design notes for myself. And anybody who really, really wants to know more about the designs in the process, although I feel like anybody who comes to these streams is going to get a pretty good idea of all of the notes along the process, depending on how many of the streams they've attended. But yeah, hold on, I wanna shut off all of her. Let's see, this layer. What was this layer? That was the shinies. Okay, this, and this layer. Select all of these and turn them off. No, wait, that's the color. Hold on, I'm gonna move these all to their own folder. That would be good. That would be really good. Maybe then that way I would... There, now I can take them all away. Here's her original concept, her original sketch. What was this? Oh, that was her bat. I kept her bat layer separate. Okay, thank you for that. You're welcome. Yeah, you don't need to, I'm not gonna be like, I'm not actually angry about this, but I get a little bit upset, not at the artist, but just the mindset that an artist has adopted through, I don't know, maybe other people telling them or just feeling like they're not good enough. I get a little upset when an artist feels like their art isn't good enough. And it's like, what is enough? Like, you define what is good and good enough in your art. And if it's not quote unquote good enough because you have not reached a specific skill level that you want to yet, that's not something to be ashamed of. That just means you need to practice and enjoy the process in doing so. But you don't have to equate not practicing or not being as practiced to some sort of moral failing. It's just, I don't know. I want artists to have fun and I want them to enjoy their processes. And I don't want them to ever feel bad about how they draw or how fast or slow they draw. It just makes me a little bit sad when people beat themselves up over their art. And I mean, I totally get it. I've done that before. I've felt bad over my art, but then after a while, I started to realize, like, what's the point of doing that anyway? Like, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to beat yourself up over how you draw. Because the point to me is not to be perfect. The point is to keep getting better and enjoy the process and free your soul as you draw. Dad has had this cough for over a month now, ever since he got sick. Can you and anyone reading this pray that he gets better? I will pray for that, yeah. I'm sorry to hear that's happening to him. It's all very good advice. I definitely fall into being very critical of my own art, but I'm trying to do that less. Yeah, see, and I totally get it. I have been there, and I still do that with my own art, and I try as much as possible not to do that. It's just, I just don't, I don't know, I just really want, I guess I just want artists to be happy and enjoy their work. Oh, I was on, oh, I have my thing is on, it was on Protect Alpha. Yeah, being critical of your own art is, it's definitely been something that I've struggled with in the past, but one thing I remember, a piece of advice I remember hearing that really, really helped me is that, like, your standard for how you want your art to look is always going to be higher than the level that you're currently drawing at. So you have to remember that, and you have to remember that even when you get to the place that you thought you always wanted to be at, once you're at that place, you're probably going to want to get even higher. You're going to want to probably get even better at certain techniques, and you're always going to be striving. But the key is not to strive out of, like, jealousy or the feeling of inadequacy or just like, I'm not good enough. The key is to strive in a sense of, like, challenge and fun, and like, this is going to be so cool to learn this. If I can nail this, keep practicing, and every time you make something that looks like how you wanted it to turn out, you can celebrate and be like, this is what I was going for. This is so cool. I think it's really important for a lot of artists. I don't do it enough myself, but I think it's really important to look back on your old work and not only see how far you've come. I'm on the wrong layer again. Hold on. Not only see how far you've come, but also see what you were accomplishing at the time when you drew a piece that maybe you consider now as lower quality or something. Because there was a reason that you drew that at one point, and maybe it's not the same quality that you draw at now, but at the time, you can still remember how it felt to draw that and how proud you were of it and how happy it made you to draw that. Hi, welcome in. It's kind of crazy to see how much improvement can happen in a year. Yes, that is so true. That is so, so true. You can be drawing for as much or as little time as you want to, and no matter how much time you put into drawing, again, what matters is not, like, you know, putting in the time and stuff like that. At least not to me. It's like, I don't feel like drawing should ever feel like a chore. That's just my personal opinion. I know that there are some people who, you know, like, draw for a living, or they they are a lot more like goal-oriented than I am. But personally, I draw as like a release or as a decompression and just for my own enjoyment. So I really like to, I just like to draw and not worry about how much time it's taking or how much I have or haven't drawn. I keep losing my train of thought. I'm trying to figure out what parts to do next, and I'm also not trusting myself now because I keep moving to the wrong layer. I'm just trying to make it more to these streams. I'm having a great time. This has been fun and encouraging. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I'm really glad. I'm glad to hear that my incessant rambling has not turned you off from the stream. I'm trying to draw and talk here at the same time, which is something I am admittedly getting better at with each stream that I do, but it's still a learning curve for me. So, really glad to hear you're enjoying it. My rambling is actually so calming. Thank you, that's quite the compliment. I really appreciate that. Yeah, it's April, yay! She's really coming along. I'm working on her shading a little bit right now and trying to remind myself when I'm actually doing that and not, you know, working on the lines, because I'm bouncing around a lot and that has been causing me to accidentally draw on the wrong layer. So that's been fun, but yeah, she's turning out fine. Turning out pretty good. Let's see. Oh yeah, I was gonna add more. Shading down here. Let's turn this on for a little bit. Let's make her a statue for just a little bit. And then work on the shading where it needs to happen. Specifically right here. I noticed in the last stream, this is completely random and off topic, but I noticed in the last stream when I was listening back to it, I say specifically quite a lot. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, it's just like, wow, you sure do say that a lot. Okay. That's better. Didn't notice her bracelet before. I want one. Yeah, I wanted to give her a nice big chunky one because I think it suits her style really well, especially with her earrings. I was basing her earrings off of like the ones she has at school and also these ones, the ones that her mom is wearing. But so kind of in keeping with that same general chunky looking style, I gave her big beads on her bracelet. Because I want everybody to have like accessories that kind of represent the colors of their siblings. And again, I consider April a more of a sibling character. She has more of a sibling relationship to the turtles in my mind. I know that not everybody sees it that way, but just in Rise in particular, she feels so much more like a sibling to all of them. And so like she's wearing all of the brothers' colors, and I just want them to be represented in styles that are unique to each character that I'm drawing. I think the one that I didn't do that very well on was Donnie. I gave him like stickers on his battle shell. But the problem is that those colors, the colors themselves with the purple look pretty good, but I also had a lot of green in his design, which was clashing a little bit, so that was difficult. I have a job at a craft store now. I'm gonna make that bracelet. That would be so cool. I want to see that. I want to see that when you make that. For me, it's canon. Yes, yeah. I really like her as like a big sister to the turtles. She very much behaves like one towards them. Oh, I gotta put her back in statue mode. Let's see. I think there could be a little bit more shading in this area. Yeah. That just means I need to separate this leg from this leg. Otherwise it'll get a little bit, it'll bleed over into the other side too much. This doesn't have to be like super duper like I don't have to make sure that the edges and the shapes are all perfectly correct when I'm doing just a little bit of airbrush shading. Let's see, I think she needs more on this side too. Yeah, she's really tilted. Hold on, let's fix that really quick. Close this folder. I'm actually gonna tilt the sketch too. I just like to be able to see how the original aligns with the sketch. And so I'm gonna make sure that I have both selected when I'm tilting. Transform. Let's see. Just need to make sure that her center of gravity is not wonky. Yeah, that's good. Well, let's mirror it and see. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine for now. If we need to tilt her more, we will. Oh, and I was gonna fix her hair up here. This was a little too much shading. There we go. I don't know if you heard, but Ellie's tablet isn't being nice and won't turn on. Oh, that's too bad. Is that why she's not here? Oops. I don't want erase, I want color. Let's see. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Let's see. What is throwing me off here? Why does her shading look so weird? She's got so much darker shading up here, but I think it needs to be a little deeper on this side. Hold on. Ooh, and I need to give her shoes a little bit of depth. Give the little flap things here. What are these things called on the shoes? Like the part that sticks up? Just these things. These things that like stick up in front of your socks. That's like between, is that called the tongue? Is that the tongue of the shoe? I want to give them a little bit of an edge. Yes, thank you, the tongue. Well, it's good to see you saw that, or that you entered those messages pretty soon after I said that, because that means that there's very little stream delay, or very little chat delay, I should say, which is something I have been dealing with lately. So it's good to see that that seems to be working pretty okay right now, at least. Yeah, I don't know. I really like how much that adds, like adding that little edge there to the tongue. Whoop, not that. Oh, I should add just a little bit of shading down here in the corners to make it a little bit puffy between the shoelaces, because it tends to kind of do that. Just a little bit of depth. I like the shoe emoji. The messages keep coming in, and it's just so funny to see just tongue out of context. Or not completely out of context, obviously, like you can hear what I'm saying and like people be like, oh, that's what they're talking about. It's just really funny to see those in the chat. The testnet delay is around 15 to 20 seconds long. Okay. Well, that's a lot better than it was on Saturday. No, what day was that? Yeah, last Saturday. Someone else was telling me, and maybe it was just their browser, but they were telling me it was like 40 seconds long, and then someone else was saying that it was like 10 minutes long, but I think that's because they just needed to refresh their browser or something. At the same time, though, I just don't want there to be a super huge delay for everybody, because that would just be crummy. You know what? I never did finish doing the outline of her shoelaces. Let's turn her color back on. And maybe turn it down a little bit so that I can actually kind of see. There we go. Okay. Add a little bit more detail. Also, I forgot to mention, but if you guys hear like some banging or popping in the background every once in a while, it's just my neighbor. They're getting their roof redone. So there's workers outside who can look directly into my window. But yeah, they're just redoing the roof out there. So I don't know. I don't even know if the mic picks that up, but I didn't figure that it would be much of a problem. It's pretty quiet. That's good to know. Good to hear. All right, I'm gonna turn off my mic for a second. I'm gonna go grab a little bit of water because I'm running out here. But yeah, time for a little water break. I'm gonna turn off my mic here for a second. All right, I'm back. Yep, water time. You know what? I kind of want to start working on her lighting a little bit. Yeah, let's see. Okay. What color should it be? I mean, some sort of yellow, obviously, but... And we'll go add glow. Yeah, that works for now. Okay. Yeah, that's generally good. Okay, let's see. I don't know why, but lighting is always so much harder for me than shading. Well, I just kind of have to follow the shading, I guess. Which, I mean, there's a little cheat code I learned where you can basically, like, select the... You can select the shading layer, and then you can inverse it. Select, invert selected area, and then you can kind of just, let's see, where's the shape tool? And that's way more lighting, but it follows along the shading layer, so it kind of automatically gives you lighting. But it's not exactly what I want. It's just, it's too blown out. I want it to be a little bit more dynamic than that. I mean, it follows along the shading, but I mean, I could fix that with any sort of layer. So yeah, that's not really what I want. There's a whole other like dimension that you can add. You know what? I need to make myself a quick reminder here on like what I'm even doing in terms of shading. So usually there's like, you know, 3 planes that you're working with on a 3-dimensional character, at least. I mean, there's kind of, there's some planes that bleed into each other just a little bit, but let's see. I'm gonna do kind of purple-ish. But yeah, there are planes that bleed into each other like on a cylinder or on a sphere, but in general, like you're usually looking at 3 different planes to shade on, which is the whole point of doing a lighting layer. And this is what I'm trying to remind myself of right now. Let's see. No, not brightness. Just want a normal brush. There we go. Okay, so there's that. But then it looks like what I've already decided to do is to make the top slightly lighter. Which I think is what I've done in the past for the turtles. Yeah. Yeah, that looks right. Just maybe needs to be not quite as... So, no, I want to keep it all the way on. I want to keep the layer at full opacity so that I can see what I'm doing. I don't want to trick myself. Although, I should really be using a brush for her hair. Well, maybe for the details. Maybe I actually do want to airbrush a little bit. I don't think that's how that's supposed to work. Hold on. Yeah, that's a little better. I can mess around with where those sit too. Oh, and I can airbrush away the bottom part just a little bit. Wait a minute, actually, no, I want to keep the selection on. Do the airbrushing while the selection is on, so that I'm not messing with the underlayer of lighting. There we go. Yeah, that's something. I don't know. Let's just make it a little bit lighter in general on top. You mind if I post my drawing of April before you post yours? No, I don't mind at all. Go right ahead. That is a-okay with me. Hopefully. And maybe I'll have more time to work on it before tomorrow. Or maybe I'll have more time to work on it tomorrow itself. But hopefully I can have this done in time for Open the Floodgates, which is happening. It's technically happening on Saturday and Sunday, but I very, very rarely post anything on Sundays, like unless it's a special occasion, but in general, I try not to be on social media at all on Sundays. Like I don't touch the apps. I don't get on my computer. I do not get on social media on Sundays. That's just, I need at least one day out of the week where I am not posting stuff or scrolling. So that's just my designated day. So hopefully I can get this done by Saturday, which is the only day out of the whole Open the Floodgates weekend that I would be able to do that. Just took another little sip of water. Let's see. I am very thirsty today, I guess. It's just kind of warm out there. You can do it. Thank you. I sure hope I can. Finished a comic in time for Floodgates. That is so cool. I'm excited to see that. I have been really enjoying your iteration of the TMNT. I really, really like that iteration. It's like one of my favorites so far. It does. It does. TMNT Repurposed just does so many things about TMNT that I personally like seeing in any iteration, and it's almost like a compilation of all those things that I want to see. So yeah, I really like it. Might even have the next part ready at this rate. Nice. Yeah, you're welcome. I really like it a lot. I think one thing I really like about it is how there's so much of a focus on just the home life and their family life and all of that stuff. And also, you know, Splinter's struggle with being a single parent. That's pretty difficult, but it's a very compelling story. Let's see, I can do just a little bit of lighting right here. Splinter needs like 3 kinds of therapy. Oh, don't all the Splinters though. But yes, I can definitely see that in your Splinter. Poor guy. He is doing his very best, and you made him such a good dad. I really appreciate when people make Splinter a good dad. Because, I mean, 2003 Splinter, he was a pretty good dad. 2012, I don't remember him as much, honestly, but he was kind of, I don't think he was a bad dad. I think he was just very stern. And then, of course, there's, Rise Splinter, and he's, kind of a hot mess. So, yeah. I really like seeing the struggle of various Splinters, but I also really enjoy seeing good dad Splinters, like the Splinters that are trying to push through that struggle to take care of his kids. "2012 Splinter is the most emotionally distant." Yeah, that's what I remember about him. Oh yeah, you should definitely check out her comic. It's really good. I don't know how to feel about having your kids call you sensei. Although maybe it's just a cultural thing in the West. I'm not used to. Oh, the West is not used to. Yeah, maybe. It does feel a little bit weird. I mean, I was homeschooled, and of course that means that my mom was my teacher, but we never called her, you know, Miss So-and-so or teacher. We just called her mom. So, yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from. I'm not used to that either, but it probably is a cultural thing. It's kind of cool, though. Not gonna lie. It probably made, it probably has something to do with the discipline of martial arts, if I had to guess. Half homeschooled? Hey! That's awesome. Yeah, I really enjoyed being homeschooled. Homeschool for the win, yes. Absolutely. Most of me and my siblings, almost all of us were homeschooled, at least until we got to college. And then one of my younger brothers, he was homeschooled up until like high school, and then he's just such a social butterfly. He was like, if like looking back now at his whole school experience, I think he needed to go to a public school. So he really enjoyed going to public school for the last few years of his education. At least for the social aspect of it. Public school for the win. I mean, it's if that's how you were educated, that's valid too. I mean, both have their pros and cons. I just think that homeschooling has a lot of pros, like a lot of pros. I'm getting so much more detail-oriented on her fingers than I probably need to, but I don't care. I like doing the fingers for some reason. Something about the fingers is really nice. I find it so funny how people criticize homeschool but then trash on public education system. I mean, both of them have their flaws. Both of them definitely have their flaws. But yeah, I just appreciate having been homeschooled. But I also know that a lot of people went through public schooling and they really enjoyed it, or they really appreciated it, or felt like that was the best for their, not necessarily even just their education, but just also like their social life, because that is a huge aspect. Obviously, though, homeschool is something not everyone can do or afford. That is true. Homeschooling, there is a little bit more of an investment with homeschooling. My parents really, really did not want to put me in the public school system, but that did mean that they had to pay more to homeschool us, you know, like for the curriculum and stuff. I'd not trade my public schooling experiences for anything, but it was mostly just for the friendships I made. The education part wasn't my favorite through the years. Yeah, see, I think that was one thing. I think if you were to really, really boil it down to the biggest pros and cons, like the biggest cons of homeschooling is probably the fact that there is, unless you're in some sort of homeschool co-op, there is not very much room, or not much opportunity, I should say, for socializing your children. I mean, unless you have a lot of siblings like I did, and then you have built-in friends. But so that's the con of, or that's the pro of public school and the con of homeschools. Like the pro of public schools, you definitely make a lot of friends that way, but the con of public school, on the other hand, is like it's not, I'm not going to say, because I've never been public schooled, I can't say definitively, but I've heard that the education is not, at the very least, it is not tailored to each student unless you get like direct tutoring. So it's really, really helpful in homeschooling to have more of a one-on-one aspect with you and your parent or instructor, depending on how you choose to do your homeschooling. I was a wallflower until I finally went to church. Oh yeah, I was very shy too. I mean, I didn't have a problem with socializing or talking to people because my parents always trained us to be, you know, at least polite and talk to people when they talk to you, because it's pretty rude to just not respond at all when someone is talking to you. But at the same time, I did not make much of an effort when I was younger. I was very shy, and to this day, I'm still a little bit of an introvert. But I do really, really enjoy socializing with the people, with my friends and the people that I do know nowadays. It's really, really nice. It's so tough because not all kids learn the same way and everything is taught very one-dimensional. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I think that I probably, if I'm being completely honest, if I had been in public school, I probably would have been categorized as like a slow learner or something, because I am so incredibly slow at everything that I do. I really benefited from having my mom help me through difficult subjects and stuff that I took a lot of time on, because I'm slow at problem solving. I'm slow at writing. I'm slow at reading. I'm slow to understand things. Things have to be explained to me quite a lot. But because I was homeschooled, I wasn't quote unquote like left behind. I had access to someone who could help me along through difficult problems, and I wasn't just being shoved along with the rest of the class, because all of us were in different grades. Introverts for the win. I mean, there are pros and cons to that too. Introverts, extroverts, ambiverts. There are pros and cons to all of them. But really, when you're talking about introverts and extroverts, really you're just talking about like how you receive your energy. I receive my energy by being alone, which does not mean that I don't like people. I think that's a big misconception about introverts. I really love being around people. It's just, it takes energy rather than gives me energy. But when I am with people, I have so much joy and I love interacting with them. And then I needed some time to recharge. And then when I go back to interacting with them and I'm all recharged, it's so much more of it's a nicer time to spend with them when I've been refreshed and everything. On the other side of the coin, extroverts, you know, they get their energy from being around people and they get drained by being alone, which is totally valid. I can see why someone would want to be around a lot of people all the time. I totally get that. I think there's a little bit of a war between introverts and extroverts sometimes, and it's just like, this is just how people process their lives a little bit different. It's fine. It's okay. We don't, just because the way we interact with people is a little bit different, how we receive our energy or lose our energy, this it doesn't excuse introverts being shy or withdrawn, and it does not excuse extroverts being pushy. Thankfully, I don't know anybody like that who uses their introvertedness and their extrovertedness as an excuse for that. Sorry, I've missed a lot of messages here. As someone with ADHD, I would never have survived public school. I would have committed crimes. Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. I don't know if I have ADHD. I probably do. I just don't care to get diagnosed. But I can definitely see how that would be a problem. I didn't learn to read until I was 12. Goodness. That is quite a while. But yeah, it sometimes people take longer to develop certain skills than others, but that doesn't mean that you're not good at other things. I'm kind of slow as well, but I found is when I understood something, I got it. Just took me longer to get it. Yes, exactly. See, that's how I am too. Yeah. Oh, I see. You're saying me in reference probably to being an extrovert. I know you're an extrovert, Duck. I see you. And I love that about you. The random topics, I love it. Yes. We're just having a conversation here. This is just fun, casual times talking about whatever crosses our minds. I easily get socially drained, but I tolerate people. I tolerate people. Yeah. I'm stuff like streaming, for example, drains me a lot less. Like, I am really enjoying this, don't get me wrong. But this drains me not quite as fast as like an actual social gathering where I'm actually in a physical place and I have to be there for an allotted amount of time. Because you have to be, when you've agreed to be at some sort of social function, you have to be there for a certain amount of time. Otherwise, if you leave too early, it's considered rude. But there are points where I'm at like physical gatherings and I hit a wall and I'm just like, I need to go home right now. Born to be an introvert, forced to be an extrovert. Yeah. See, and like I said, I love interacting with people when I have the energy for it. Absolutely love interacting with people. There is something so much fun having a good, deep conversation with people, and talking to people and getting to know them and dig deeper into their interests and everything. It's just, that's something that I really, I guess, treasure in a very specific way, because I have to be careful to direct my energy towards that. I don't do very well in like massively physical group settings. So, like multiple people in a circle talking. Again, streaming, perfectly fine. For some reason, this doesn't drain me nearly as much as being with someone in person. But like being with multiple people in person, something about that, like dividing my attention between multiple people is so much more draining than talking one-on-one with someone and genuinely getting to know them and investing in them more directly. I want to be an extrovert, but at the same time, I like being an introvert. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, like I said, it's just how you process your social energy. It's not anything that you have to be. It's just how you are. It's just how you live. And I don't think that there is anything wrong with one or the other. It's just, I don't think that there should be any sort of huge attention on being an extrovert or an introvert, whether like it's better to be an introvert or an extrovert. Because again, I think there's kind of a war between the two, where the introverts don't really, they like look down on the extroverts, and the extroverts kind of like feel like the introverts are a little bit of party poopers. And it's like, can we just get along, please? Can we just interact like a social, like human beings? I feel like I come off as an extrovert because I can talk to practically anyone. I'm not very shy, but after the day, I feel like a zombie. Yes, exactly. No, I know, I feel that. See, again, it has a lot to do with my parents' training. They taught me how to really engage with people in a meaningful way, and I really like doing that. But there is a point where I'm just like, I'm done. I will not get, and you also kind of have to be done at some point, because if you value the conversation you're having with a person and you're an introvert, there is a point where you have to stop before you start losing the value in the conversation, because you've hit your limit. So you just have to keep that in mind. I leave unannounced. Sometimes I want to. It's like saying left-handed people are bad and right-handed people are good. Yeah, yes, exactly. It is extreme. I know a lot of left-handed people. It's weird, and I always forget that they're left-handed, but it's just like, why have we forced right-handedness so much in society? It's like so many left-handed people exist. Let people be people sometimes. Yes, let people be people. Put that on a t-shirt. Let's see. Oh, I could do a little bit of detail work. What was I just doing with... Okay. I think I was on the correct layer. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't shading on the wrong layer. Oh, the last color I used was yellow. So yes, I was on the correct layer coloring. And that is the incorrect brush. Oh my goodness. Poor lefties and their struggles with scissors. Oh my goodness. I know. I'm not left-handed personally, but I know what that struggle is like for left-handed people. My mom was trying to teach a girl from church how to sew, and they had to stop the process entirely. One day she was teaching her. They had to stop everything because she didn't have the correct scissors for her. She was like, I can't cut with these. And mom was like, oh. So the girl's mom bought her left-handed sewing scissors so that she could continue, but it was like, it just didn't even cross my mom's mind until that came up, and it's like, yeah, it's a problem for them. For anybody who's left-handed, I am so sorry. Society just really does not, is not very helpful to you guys. What was I doing? Where's my line art? Where's that layer? There it is. I'm being so finicky with the details right now. I don't need to do that. Oh, I should work on her lighting a little bit more. What was that? This layer? No, that's her glasses. This layer. There we go. Let's go back to the lighting for a bit. This is what I mean by I probably have ADHD, but I don't care to get diagnosed because it doesn't inhibit me enough in my life for me to get a diagnosis or anything. And I probably don't. I probably don't have, if I do, it's not very serious, so. But I will bounce from project to project or part to part in a project like this. I keep bouncing between like the shading and the lighting and all that stuff, and then sometimes I just get like hyper focused on one thing for a really long time. I hold things kind of weirdly when I get so many mean comments, but the same people will compliment my art and they say, "Could never draw like that." I mean, you do what works for you. You gotta, if you need to hold a drawing utensil or any sort of utensil in a specific way, it's like, why does anybody care how you do that? Strongly dislike smudging my paper when writing left-handed. Yeah. Oh yeah, I can imagine that would be a big struggle because all of our writing, or at least on the English language, is like left to right. So you're passing your hand over it. Oh, that's annoying. Or that sounds annoying. I want a diagnosis for that too, but I'm scared of depending on medication. Yeah, see, and the thing is like, I think it would be fair, it would be fine to get a diagnosis for something like that, but like I said, in my case, it's not inhibiting me enough for me to really care or think that like, oh, maybe I need a medication. I think I'm doing fine. brother told me once that everyone has a little bit of ADHD, but some people just have more. I don't know if that's how it works, but it's fun to think about. Yeah, it might. I mean, it might be a spectrum. I can see, I don't know enough about it to say definitively whether that's the case or not, but I can see how that might be the case. When I was a child, I was ambidextrous. I don't know if that's how you spell it. Yeah, that sounds right. But it means, yeah, writing with both hands, but I lost the ability. That is too bad. See, and I think that is a result, again, of just, like, society kind of forcing the left-handed people out. It's like, because, you know, there's very little accommodation for people who are left-handed. And so a lot of people are forced to become either ambidextrous or just lose their ability to be left-handed at all. Do a little bit of lighting on her face. Make her nose stand out a little bit more. But not too much. Just at the bridge. Nope. That was too much. Hold on. There we go. That's way better. It's got deep. Yeah, I like. I kind of like that. I'm like. I like having conversations with a lot of. I don't want to say meaning, but just like conversations that, you know, are less surface level. I really appreciate conversations like that. Off topic, but who do you think made the bracelets in your AU? Oh, that is a really, really good question. That is a really good question, because I've thought about that. And my first instinct would be to say either Mikey or Splinter. Because I honestly haven't landed really on who would do that, but it definitely feels up Mikey's alley to make something crafty, something simultaneously crafty and sentimental like that. But also I feel like there would be a lot more meaning to them if they came from Splinter before he dies. So I want to say Splinter. And at this point, I think I made a post once where I established that Donnie does in fact have a bracelet. He just either doesn't wear it very often or he keeps it hidden under his gloves. So, but like, everybody has, I think Raph has like an anklet. Obviously, I've given April a bracelet, and Leo and Donnie have matching bracelets, and they've got like square beads on them. And then, Mikey has a necklace. He also has a bracelet, but it doesn't stand out as much. So yeah, I was thinking it would probably be Splinter who made those for them. Just as like something to, I don't know, just as a gift to his children. Do you plan on designing Making Peace Casey and Junior next? Yes. Yes, I do. I think I'm going to go with Junior next. Casey eventually. I really love her as a character. She is so funny. But I don't have a lot of ideas for her. A lot of people give Casey Sr., they give her longer hair, like, after she's grown up, but I've also noticed that they're usually giving her longer hair in like the Apocalypse AUs, where like it's still the bad timeline and everything like that. And so I can kind of see her having longer hair in the Apocalypse, where maybe it's harder to either find the resources or get the time to actually cut your hair or keep it shaved down that far. But like, I think that she would still shave her head quite a lot. Even as she got older. But then again, you know, styles change over the years, so maybe she would grow her hair out just a little bit on one side or on the top or something. I don't know. I've thought a whole lot about Cassandra's hair, and or lack thereof, and not very much about the rest of her design, so I gotta figure that out. Oh, I could see Mikey and April getting together to maintain the bracelets like Splinter made them, so they regularly put in maintenance to make sure they stay in good repair. That's a really good point. They probably would. Mikey would probably, yeah, Mikey and April. I can see them both doing that. It fits with Splinter canonically sewing stuff. Yes, yeah, I think he's a pretty creative guy. And also the fact that he sews, like, you know, masks and gear for his sons, just good indicator that he likes making things for his children, so. Unimportant question, but are they wood, stone, etc.? Oh, that's a good question. So Leo's bracelet, and also the, I think Leo's bracelet and by extension Donnie's bracelet, those are ceramic, I think. Or no, they're either ceramic or they're some sort of like abalone shell. I think that's how you pronounce that. I've never known how to pronounce that kind of shell, but like the abalone shell. Leo's beads, the ones that are coming off of his sword tassel, or on his sword tassel, are glass. Those are glass beads. And then Raph's, I think pretty much all the rest of the beads that are round are glass, except for maybe April's, these ones, would be way too heavy if they were glass, so they're probably wood. And then, of course, Raph's charms, which he carved himself. Those aren't ones that Splinter made for them. Those ones are obviously wood. I can see her with either short hair or long, but consider her growing her hair out as part of her freedom from the Foot Clan. Oh, that's a good point. I mean, maybe in like a symbolic way of her being free from the Foot Clan, because I think, this is just me personally, but I think that she chose to have short hair because we've seen other Foot Clan members who join, who still have long hair. Then again, her short hair could be something that the Foot Clan made her do. I just thought that it was a personal choice of her to have her hair that short. Yeah, so April's beads would be wood. What do you think? The rest of the beads are glass or ceramic. And then Leo and Donnie's bracelets are, I can't remember what they're called. There's a certain type of bracelet I was going for, and I even found some when I went to an art fair recently, and there were like the exact kind of bracelets that I was looking for, and they had like big square beads, but they were made out of some sort of seashell, or maybe it was coconut. No, I don't remember. Anyway, it was something like that, some sort of like organic material. I see her shaved head as possibly like a sign of her dedication because it's giving Shaolin monk or something. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, if it could be like a personal sign of dedication to the Foot Clan, that makes a whole lot of sense, yeah. Okay. That does make a lot of sense. I think she would still have a little bit of shaving going on, because it really suits her style. But yeah, in terms of like symbolically, like it's her kind of pulling away from the Foot Clan. That's a really good point. Okay, we're running up on time here. Got a few more seconds, but man, I keep hitting my desk and I'm trying not to do that. All right, let's turn the lighting down just a little bit because it's pretty stark on her face right now. I just want to see. That's all the way off. That's about 50%. That's a good level right about there. I'm going to leave it there, but I'll turn it back up when I get back to working on her lighting and everything. Let's see, save. She's really coming along. I still need to work more on some more minor details. I feel like maybe these side strips here could be like some sort of like synthetic leather material. I think that might look really good. So I might add some sort of texture or gloss to them, just a faint gloss, just the faintest of gloss. She definitely needs shinies on her bracelet to make those stand out a little bit more. She could do half shave. Yeah, she could. I mean, you can really do anything with her hair and she will rock it. Yes, this is true. She is Cassandra. She is very stylish. She is so cool looking no matter what she does. Thanks so much for doing this again. You're welcome. I'm glad that you guys have enjoyed. Thank you all for coming, and thank you for the wonderful conversation. It was really, really nice to talk about everything we talked about. I really like getting into deeper subjects like that sometimes. But yeah, that was really fun. I enjoyed drawing, flipping between the incorrect layers and all that stuff. accidentally drawing on all the wrong layers, but we figured it out. We figured it out. We're getting very close. We'll see if I get this done by tomorrow. I really want to, but no promises. But thank you everybody for joining along. And thank you for being such a good crowd and for just, I don't know, for having fun with me. This has been fun. Everybody have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!